My personas undressing, I come with questions. My people bring energy from heaven, but still we deadly weapons. Loot for the God that used to bring truth to my side, but few of my coolest compadres. Truth that I'm still the best elected. My complication is truly we rockin' patient and hate ourselves during isolation. Amplify meditation. Is a yacht a slave ship? The same blood in the leaves, the same blood in the pavement. Nah, cause I cool it with my Lupita. We listening to the Fugees with Coogee and Jackalia. I told her don't think about it. The way that we come, white cops shoot colors like paintball guns. I might stop, black criminal, a Cape Cod judge. I gotta stop just to talk about a thing called love. I robbed a homeless man. Gave him my breakfast and stole his hunger. Apologized to God, I know that I stole the thunder. Sipping vitamin D, I'm the son that we both come under after last night. I'm contemplating if wisdom comes from my past life. In my creation, I know that I couldn't ask twice. I pour my thought and libation into a glass pipe. Nick.
Hey everybody, I'm Rob Fields. I'm the President and Executive Director here at Weeksville Heritage Center. And on behalf of the board and staff, I want to welcome you to our 2020 Kwanzaa Festival. Now, you all know 2020 has been one of the most crazy, weird, and trying years in recent memory. But the fact that you're here watching this means you made it through. And that's worth remembering, that's worth celebrating, and it is a reminder of your own resilience and the resilience that's here in our community. So when I think of Kwanzaa and its 7 principles, I think a lot about the themes that animated historic Weeksville. I think of self-determination and collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, faith, purpose, unity, creativity. They're not new ideas. They were practiced then and they live on today. Weeksville is about highlighting the past in order to inspire the future. And we're gonna need to take that inspiration into the new year so that we can do the work that needs to be done to make ourselves, our families, and our communities better. I wanna thank you all for being on this journey with us. I wanna thank you for allowing us to be part of this wonderful community. And I want to thank you all for the support that you've given Weeksville so that we can continue to do the work of keeping this history, this Black history alive for future generations. So please stay safe, please stay healthy, and here's to restful and happy holidays for all.
Hi, my name is Sharon Gordon, and welcome to Kwanzaa Fest 2020, where we rise in principle. I've been in love with my Black girl magic all my life. From a little girl growing up on the plantation, the island of Jamaica. Yes, Jamaica, that magical place where, I know Bob Marley, I know you've heard of him. There was Marcus Garvey. They come from the same place in St. Anne. There was Nanny of the Maroons. She is the only female national hero. Then Usain Bolt. You know these names. Of course you do, but do you know the name Louise Bennett Coverley? We call her Miss Lou. See, Miss Lou was my mentor, and I spent many, many, many Saturday afternoons with her inside the studios of the Jamaica Broadcasting Corporation. And I did not know then, when I was sitting at her feet, that she was training and pouring into me, and so many others at the time, about our culture. This rich culture that she taught us about our connection to Africa, that we had connections in Ghana, and that most of the enslaved that came to Jamaica were from Ghana. So she taught us about the language of Twi. So when we hear things like Doti and Gwe, yeah, pasa pasa, those are good Twi words, she would tell us. And she taught us that we should love our culture. So we learned about folk stories like Brother Nancy and folk songs like Chichi Bodo. Yes, she taught us all that. Little did I know then, when I was dancing on stage and being exposed to so much, an overabundance of culture, that when I came to the US as a teenager, I would have put all of that in my suitcase and take it with me. And you know something? It is that life as a child that has prepared me for this life that I've lived now. I tell people every day, I don't work for a living. I enjoy my life because this rich life I share. This rich culture I share. This richness is what we as Africans share. And so today, for Kwanzaa Fest 2020, we will be sharing with you how we continue to rise in principle. Please stay with me and enjoy. Ashe.
I'm Michael K. Williams, and I've lived in Brooklyn my entire life, but it wasn't until recently that I got to go to or even heard of the Weeksville Heritage Center. Historic Weeksville was established in 1838, 11 years after New York State abolished slavery. Located in modern-day Crown Heights, it was one of the few intentional self-contained communities where Black people could be free to work, live, learn, and thrive at a time when none of this was a given. It established schools, benevolent associations, and 3 churches that exist to this day: Berean, Bethel Tabernacle, and St. Philip's. It built orphanages to care for our children and a home for our elders. It founded a newspaper, the Free Man's Torchlight, that included community news alongside lessons in etiquette, reading, and mathematics. By 1850, it was one of the largest communities of free blacks in the United States. But by the 1930s, Weeksville was absorbed into a changing Brooklyn and almost lost to history. In 1968, local activists and working people from the neighborhood fought to save the last physical evidence of the settlement's existence, the historic Hunterfly roadhouses from urban renewal efforts. These local activists saw Weeksville's teachable past and envisioned an educational center that would bring pride to this underserved part of Brooklyn.
Hi, I'm Councilwoman Alika Ampry Samuel, representing the 41st Council District in Brownsville, Ocean Hill, parts of Bed-Stuy, Crown Heights, and East Flatbush. As the representative of these neighborhoods that are so rich in our history, it is an honor to have the principle that means unity. It is an honor to stand in unity with my brothers and sisters and take their concerns and needs to City Hall. It is a privilege to come to work every single day to represent and uplift the families and communities through policy and oversight. So as we celebrate Umoja today, let's continue to be united and come together to be safe, healthy, and happy. Thank you.
And we're jumping for justice with Malika Lee Whitney and Pinckney Productions. They're going to be performing an intergenerational double Dutch tribute to Breonna Taylor and all our other fallen heroes and sheroes. Because Black lives really do matter.
We name, we define, we create, we speak for ourselves. Kujichagulia, self-determination. And today, we honor and remember Breonna Taylor jumping for justice, a leisure playtime activity elevated for social justice awareness and reforms. We name ourselves. We define ourselves. We create for ourselves. And we determine who we are and what we can be and what we will be. Kujichagulia, self-determination.
Respect Black women. Enough! Protect Black girls. Say her name.
Jumping for justice.
Say her name.
Breonna Taylor!
Give me a B.
B!
Beautiful.
Beautiful!
Give me a R.
R!
Respectful.
Respectful!
Give me a E.
E!
Essential.
Essential!
Give me a O.
O!
Outstanding.
Outstanding!
Give me an N.
N!
Nurturer.
Nurturer!
Give me an
N!
N. Necessary.
Necessary!
Give me an A.
A!
Angel.
Angel!
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor!
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor. January, February, March, April, May. I want to live and jump another day. June, July, August, September. Too many names to remember. October, day.
Tanisha Anderson, Rakia Boyd, Sandra Bland, Eleanor Bumpers, Miriam Carey, Kendra Chapman, Sarah Lee Circlebear, DeCynthia Clemens, Joyce Cornell, Michelle Cousteau, Deborah Danner, Chantel Davis, Shirley Fontanez, Janisha Fonville, Sharice Francis, Shelley Frey, Corinne Gaines, Sonia Garcia, Denise Gay, Pearlie Golden, Maya Hall, Darnisha Harris, Corianne Hithon, Megan Hockaday, Kendra James, Atiana Tay Jefferson, Aaliyah Jenkins, Katherine Johnson, Betty Jones, Ralkina Jones, Charlena Lyles, Kiam Livingston, Jenny McMillan, Simone Marshall, Renisha McBride, Natasha McKenna, Taisha Miller, Kayla Moore, Gabriela Navarez, Drain Nickup, Yvette Smith, Alberta Spruill, Ayanna Stanley Jones, Aura Rosa, Breonna Taylor, Elisa Thomas, Geraldine Townsend, Pamela Turner, Raynette Turner, Melissa Williams, Tarika Wilson. Say her name. Say her name. Say her name.
WHC offers guided tours of the historic Hunterfly roadhouses, the last physical evidence of the existence of the 19th century Weeksville. The 3 wood-framed houses date back to the 1840s and are used to help visitors step back in time to the 1860s, 1900s, and 1930s to understand the social and political context that each house's interpretation represents. School tours and hands-on tour workshops cater to K through 12 students and are pre-scheduled. Approximately 6,000 school children from across the metropolitan area participate in on-site tours annually during the school year. Teachers choose from a menu of programs including 19th and 20th century tours, object-based programs, and an optional add-on arts workshop where participants create art based on historic themes and what they have learned on the tour.
My name is Annette Robinson, and I'm a former member of the New York State Assembly, a former member of the New York City Council, and I am now the District Leader State Committee Woman of the 56th Assembly District and an executive member of Vanguard Independent Democratic Association. I understand that I'm here to represent Kuchijakalia today as a principal of Kwanzaa. I believe that I have exercised self-determination over these many years. I've celebrated Kwanzaa for over 40 years with my family since we became aware of Kwanzaa and its inception and the principles of Kwanzaa. Kuchijakalia talks about self-determination, and I have exercised that with my family. I'm the mother of 6 children, and I have 14 grandchildren, and I have 4 great-grandchildren. I have had the opportunity to serve in 3 branches of government, the federal, the state, and city government. And I also served on a community school board and had an opportunity to get a chance to meet many people throughout the community and also to serve as a staff member with the Head Start program in Brooklyn. So I have exercised some self-determination and doing many things that I thought were important. In addition to founding block associations and working very closely with various community organizations through time. And so it has afforded me an opportunity to meet a lot of different people. And people have done good work in our community. And I'm very proud to have been able to join people to doing the good work for our people and making sure that our programs and services were delivered as a member of the New York City Council and as well as the New York State Assembly, seeing that programs and services were delivered to our community. I'm concerned right now about what's happening in our school system, because I used to be a member of the Community School Board of District 16 from 1977 to 1986. So I'm saddened by what's happening with our children. They will be quite confused, and the parents also will be the children are not getting the services that they need and deserve. I know for myself, I have 2 little granddaughters that have special needs, and they're not getting their services, so that disappoints me. So I'm hopeful that we will be able to return back to some normalcy, and that our community and our nation will be able to be healed from this pandemic, and that we will be able to have justice and services and programs for our people.
Did you know that one of the oldest free African American communities started in Brooklyn, New York? In the present-day neighborhood of Crown Heights and Bedford-Stuyvesant, right on the corner of St. Mark and Buffalo Avenue, you will find the Weeksville Heritage Center, Brooklyn's largest African American cultural institution. Come by for a guided tour and learn about the historic Hunterfly Road houses. These New York City landmarks tell the story of a free African American community dating all the way back to 1838. This tour isn't just about historic homes and the families who lived in them. It's about freedom, self-determination, and community.
It's Kwanzaa Fest 2020, and it's time for the best part of the show for me. It's time for the fashion show. And as you can see, I'm already dressed up and in my outfit, thanks to Sister Noni. But right now, we're about to share with you some of the most glorious designs from some of our most creative local, and I'm talking Brooklyn Bed-Stuy local designers. Oh yes, get ready to just be blown away by fashion. And all of this has been curated by our own Harriet by Hakima.
Jerusalema, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalema, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, la la ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami
I'm killing them shot. Because I swear God, the fight, we're killing them back. Rah, 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 we go to win them like that. Oh, God, boy, make a no be a belly jack. Jama! Yeah. That's all, yeah. Jaja, make you know they feel like kulala. Jala mi jala, betty money, na 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 na. Money lonely. We making money rush like Indomie. Suppose that's your word, my lordy. Baby, show my Giuseppe's a naughty. See, I'm killing them shot. Because I swear God, the fight, we're killing them back. Rah, 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 we go to win them like that. Oh, God, boy, make a no be a belly jack.
You are not a fella, so what's your excuse? It is better there's nothing you can do. Oh yeah, guess when you tell the fetch a coffee, pile, mo wale the other of my son. Oh yeah, ude. Zatani pile, pona le wale. One more pule for one of me shade. What we are making this move for fairy. Oh yeah, hallelujah. Rapita, let us say it is suya. Mayakoya, let it be a bima. Ebuka la sola God, la shida. La safuto potoko. Mutibole kumani di kadibu. Pack mari to park where you couldn't move back to my bezaku wale money coffee shaku.
See, I'm killing them shot. Because I swear God, the fight, we're killing them back. Rah, we go to win them like that. Oh, God, boy, make a no be a belly jack. Back in the days, then they used me to yeah. What's on my wrist and my neck, keep it die out. I know they look Gucci, I didn't go below. Money lonely. We making money rush like Indomie. Suppose that's your word, my lordy. Baby, show my Giuseppe's a naughty. See, I'm killing them shot. Because I swear God, the fight, we're killing them back. Rah, we go to win them like that. Oh, God, boy, make a no be a belly jack. See, I'm killing them shot. See, I'm killing them shot. Because I swear God, the fight, we're killing them back. Rah, we go to win them like that. Oh, God, boy, make a no be a belly jack. Make you know they feel like kulala. Jala mi jala. Betty money, na 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 na. Money lonely. We making money rush like Indomie. Suppose that's your word. Baby, je m'en Giuseppe Zanotti. See, I'm killing them shot. Because I swear God, if I could kill them back. Rah, we go to win them like that. Oh, God, boy, make a no be a belly jack. You are not a fella, so what's your excuse? It is matter there's nothing you can do. We have guessed when you tell the fetch a coffee. Pile, mo wale the other of my son. Oh yeah, ude. Zatani pile, bona le wale. One more pule for wala mu mishele. Woguya mikere ni simo fi mu for fere. Oh yeah, hallelujah. Rabita le nu se biti suya.
We need your support. Consider making a one-time donation or become a Weeksville sustainer through our monthly giving program. Your sustained financial investment will allow us to realize several education initiatives. To tell our incredible story, Weeksville hopes to create a simple app that draws on our vast and mostly unknown archive of African American life in Brooklyn. We are developing a 4th grade curriculum which aligns with the NYC Department of Education's focus on NYC history. We are in the process of updating this curriculum and exploring opportunities to expand it for both lower and higher grade levels. WHC aspires to create educational open houses and professional development opportunities for teachers. The program will explore Weeksville's history in new and dynamic ways. Educators will have the opportunity to work with staff, anthropologists, historians, designers, artists, and environmentalists whose work supports Weeksville's mission and provide innovative ways for teaching American history and engaging students. For more information, visit weeksvillesociety.org.
I want to thank Ms. Ruby Inez Williams and the Asase Foundation for allowing me to lend my voice on this 3rd principle of Kwanzaa, which is Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility. There is no greater time or opportunity for us to look at collective work and responsibility as a guiding principle than with this pandemic, which has exacerbated every single inequity. Inequities in our education system, inequities in small business, especially minority-owned small business, inequity in healthcare, inequity in transportation, every single inequity. And the only way that we will truly recover and be resilient as a people is through Ujima, through the collective work and responsibility, through spending our dollars with each other in our community, through circulating the dollar in a way that allows us to benefit from its presence. So I can't say enough about how important it is for our young people to sit close and watch our Kwanzaa principles, especially Ujima, with the rise in gun violence and gang activity that's happening. Ujima is that which calls to account those who are in our communities who are operating outside of the mandate of togetherness and collective work and responsibility. So I encourage everybody to follow this 3rd principle of Kwanzaa in Ujima and make this place a better environment for all of us. Thank you.
So it is a very powerful symbol, and it is a gift from the Billie Holiday Theater at Restoration and Council Member Robert E. Cornegie Jr. It is a gift to the community.
Today is one of the most beautiful days that I've gotten a chance to experience in representing Bedford-Stuyvesant. The idea that we're going to solidify our respect and appreciation and support for the Black Lives Matter movement by literally putting that on the street for the world to see.
The No Justice, No Peace movement started right here in Brooklyn. It now is No Justice, No Peace, and Black Lives Matter. This street ought to be named here. This is where we started the rallies. This is where we started the protests. This is where the movement started. You can't get the fruit without the root. The root is Brooklyn. That's why I wanted to be here.
And this is a moment, this Black Lives Matter mural, it is going to span 565 feet. It is 28 feet tall or wide, if you will. And it's not only a statement to those who don't exist in the social space of injustice, it is an affirmation for those who do.
We're making a piece that basically signifies all the people that have been affected by racial violence, and so I wanted to participate in that and to celebrate Black Pride.
Ujima, man, collective works and responsibility. Black Lives Matter, man, all day, every year, man. Black Lives Matter.
There is a house on fire, and there is a sense of urgency that we have to think about when we're thinking about Black lives.
We have been building Black empowerment, and this is exactly what this is about. It's about equity, it's about justice, it's about fairness, and we think that this is just a small pin in the work that we should do to build a monument to the work that's going before us.
Keep marching, young people, till we take down the walls of racism. Keep marching, young people, to make a change. Keep marching, young people, because we failed you. Keep marching, young people, because systematic racism must end.
I'm telling you, we have a great, great, great experience awaiting you here at Kwanzaa Fest 2020. Now, I know you've been having a good time, but are you ready for a breathtaking experience? Well, come with me, because we're inside of the Kente is King collection done by my brother over here, Zulu Soul. Let me go on over and say hello to him. Come with me. Come meet the king behind Kente is King. Brother Zulu Soul, yes. Welcome to Kwanzaa Fest 2020.
Thank you for having me.
This collection, tell us about it. Why is Kente king? And who is this gentleman that I think I'm his queen? I think I'm dressed for the occasion.
Absolutely. So this piece right here is called Obrafo. And Obrafo is someone who, the name translates to executioner. So it was basically someone who was the protector.
I love him.
They take care of the family. They take
Yes.
care of whatever needs to be taken care of. No problem, no questions asked. They're going to take care of it.
Yes.
The Kente is King. The reason I came up with this is the very first piece I actually did for
Amazing.
the whole collection, actually. And, it was a piece that I saw that I wanted to create, and I saw the Kente, and I was like, what could I do? So the collection came about just there, and then I decided to paint even more of the different facets of life, of showing people who wear Kente, because originally Kente was worn just by kings
Royalty,
and queens.
right?
Exactly.
Royalty. But nowadays, anyone can wear
Exactly.
Kente. We've deregulated Kente.
Absolutely.
So this collection came about, like you said, because of this piece, but as I look around the room, like I saw the ladies who are the sellers of fabric, right? We started there, out of Ghana. No, you've traveled all over the world, and we see it in your work. For example, I am seeing the drummer over here, and the drummer is pulling me. Can we walk over to the drummer? Because
Absolutely.
Who is the drummer?
So
Where is he? And what is he doing? What is he wearing?
This piece is called Ochedema, which means drummer in the Akan language in West Africa. So this piece is dear to me because I'm also a drummer, and this is something that I've always loved to do, other than art, is drum too. So this piece, if you think about what music does to your soul, what music does to whatever it is you do in life, there's a connection there. That music is always a connection. So I wanted to make sure we started off with the first form of music, which was drums.
Our drums,
Exactly.
right, which
Yeah.
really is our heartbeat.
That's right.
And this, you say, is, so we're in Ghana right now. We're in that part.
Yes.
There is a sister that I saw when I first saw your piece. It's the first piece I saw. And I know she's very special to you because she is the image of your promotion.
Absolutely.
And she's hiding somewhere over here, I think. Tell us a little bit about her.
So I'm going to take you over to Nana Ya Santua.
Okay.
So Nana Ya Santua, this is this piece here.
Yes, this is the piece.
And this is another, I really call this is a bad piece right here.
Yes, it is.
This embodies African women all over the world, I don't care where you are, and shows the power that black women have, the magic that they have.
That black girl magic?
Absolutely.
I love it.
And that's what this talks about. And if you know anything about Nana Ya Santua, she was the one who took the women to war against the British to protect the golden stool in Ghana. So
Can we just break it down again? We hear about the golden stool, and we hear in the history lessons that we're learning from our elders, we'll hear some of the names, the Nefertiti's, the Queen Nzingas and stuff. But the badass sisters tend to get a little passed over because they kind of rock the boat a little bit.
Yes.
She's one of those that was kicking ass. Can you
Yes,
just
she
break
was.
it down for them again real quick?
So again, Nana Santo was she was a woman in Ghana who decided to take up arms against the British.
The British. She said, we ain't taking this.
Exactly. To protect the children, to protect the families, to protect the whole country.
As you're talking about the children in a time of COVID, and I know that this collection came to you at the beginning of COVID.
Yes.
Now, folks probably looking around the room and can't believe this. Yes, this came to you, and you did this.
Yes.
As we get ready to walk over to where the children are, because you started off at age 8, am I correct?
Absolutely.
And you're a total creative. You're a drummer, you're a painter,
Photography.
What
A
don't you do?
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
But what you're doing is you're passing on this legacy.
Yes.
So not only do we have Kente's King, this collection, you've included the elders, right? The sisters, the executioners,
queens,
right? The queens,
drummers,
the lovers.
Yep.
They're all here. But you have the children.
Yes.
And you right now, you're a teacher in DC.
Yes, I am.
You are passing on this legacy. Can we go over to the children? You tell us who they are and
Yes,
talk
yes,
about
yes.
what you're doing with the children right now?
So the name of this piece is called Nana Ama. And I talk about the children because I teach right now. And I enjoy what I'm doing because this is something that they need to continue to have an outlet to create for themselves. And so I enjoy what I'm doing. Even during COVID, we're still teaching. I'm doing Zoom and everything. And it's lovely. I love it. So, and we move on to this piece. This piece is called Kete.
Okay.
All right.
Why don't you go on over there and tell me a little bit about Kete?
Kete is a piece, it's actually a dance that they do in Ghana also. And you think about her smile, you look at the vibrant colors, you think about the dance and the movement. This is something that gives you energy, it gives you a smile, it gives you
life.
Exactly.
And Kente is king, and that's why we're here. This entire collection really speaks to the village, it speaks to the nation, it speaks to our African world.
Yes.
And I want folks to come and visit you, see you. Tell folks where they can find you, where they can see this work.
Absolutely.
Real quick.
At Zulu Soul, Zulu_Soul, Instagram. So.
Zulu_Soul at Instagram. We are at Kwanzaa Fest 2020. I'm Sharon Gordon, your hostess with the mostest, here with the Zulu King himself.
Happy Kwanzaa to y'all.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Greetings, my name is Stephanie Zinnerman and I am the Assembly Member for the 56th District representing Bedford-Stuyvesant and Crown Heights. Our district is the bedrock for small business ownership, in particular, Black small business ownership. That is why I'm so excited today to talk to you about the principle of Ujamaa, or cooperative economics. One of the committees that I am interested in supporting and working on at the New York State Assembly is tourism and culture. Another is economic development, specifically so that we can support the economic engine here in our district so that our small businesses will continue to grow. In addition, I want to focus in on education so that our young people growing up understanding that they always can use their talents to also go into business and give them the opportunity to intern with some of the wonderful businesses that we have here in the district. I grew up with this principle, and I want to give young people the same opportunity to learn, to thrive, to grow, and to become successful in our district.
This year, WHC welcomed a new preservation manager, Zumalina Then. She is responsible for ensuring the integrity and long-term preservation of the historic Hunterfly roadhouses, the only remaining domestic structures of the 19th century Weeksville. For the past 3 years, Weeksville has launched the Legacy Project, funded by the Andrew W. Mullen Foundation. The Legacy Project is driven by the overarching idea of freedom and the right to know, document, and defend one's own history. The Legacy Project integrates history, place, and community, and introduces audiences to community-engaged archiving practices. Mules as Collective Memory is an oral history-based project that focuses on Black culture and explores how the meaning of authenticity changes when it becomes commodified and gentrified in urban spaces. MACM specifically looks at the contemporary, culinary, and urban history of Central Brooklyn by collecting interviews from Black restaurateurs. The interviews became the basis of programming that included community dinners, workshops, public discussions with food historians and chefs, and the creation of a zine.
Greetings. My name is Dr. Doris Withers, and I am Professor Emeritus of Biology and Education from Medgar Evers College. I was one of the original faculty members at Medgar Evers College, and I served in many roles, including faculty, but also in administration. Many people ask, what is genetic genealogy? And you actually hear two words in there. You hear genetics, and you hear genealogy. Well, genetics, once again, deals with DNA, that molecule. And genealogy is the study that looks at ancestry. So it means that you're taking information from DNA to tell you something about your ancestry. DNA has little small differences from one human being to another. And looking at those differences and comparing them to other individuals with differences, you can tell something about the ancestry. So actually, genetic genealogy is really studying ancestry using information found in that big molecule of life called DNA, which stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. Much easier to say DNA. You know, I get the question sometimes about why African Americans and people of the diaspora would be interested or would want to do a genetic genealogy test. My experience has been in working with our community is that many people want to know something about their African ancestry. As you're well aware, that a lot of information about our ancestors, particularly the ones that nurtured us and claimed us, people of African descent, a lot of the history and the knowledge of those ancestors were lost based on how it existed in this country. So when African Americans hear that they can learn something about their African ancestry, many of them will come to me and say, I want to know who I am. And I always say, you already know who you are. What you want to know is more about yourself, about your African ancestry. And I think this is why I get such enthusiasm from people in our community about wanting to do a genetic genealogy test. Genetic genealogy makes it more informative because it will give you information that may go back several generations, and in some instances, thousands of years. And most likely for African Americans, that thousands and thousands of years actually will put their ancestors in the continent of Africa and at a particular region in Africa. So I think it is important that people of our community do that, but it's not a standalone. It's not by itself. It's an adjunct to our efforts to learn about our ancestors and our history.
Our next performance is from one of my favorite dance theater. Forces of Nature Dance Theater has been in our community forever doing this work. I just want to shout out their founder and artistic director, the one and only Abdel Salam. Now, hey, we have a performance for you that is going to blow your mind. It's called Modesty. Don't go nowhere.
Habari Gani, Habari Nia. I'm State Senator Kevin Parker, and I represent the 21st District in Brooklyn. And today I'm going to talk about the principle of the Nguzo Saba called Nia, or purpose. Purpose is about the collective will of our community to build itself to its traditional greatness. And that greatness is about building our own community, and not just the physical part of our community, but our people. We must work together to make sure that all the things that we're doing daily are bringing us to a place where our communities and our people are in a better place than they were the day before. That's what purpose is about. We come from a great people, and we can be those great people again. Remember, we are the people who were here the day before yesterday, and we're going to be the people who are going to be here the day after tomorrow. So let's always continue to bring goodness into the world and let no goodness be lost.
Oh, welcome to Kwanzaa Fest 2020.
It's an honor.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to have you here. I mean, it's all about Ember Charter School. Well, before we even do anything, I'd like to get us started at the beginning because our theme this year is Rise in Principle, and you actually represent that. That everything you do with the Ember Charter School is about rising in principle. And I'm going to read something to you. You were quoted in a New York Times article, and you said, everything you do must be focused on agency and empowerment. And so as it relates to the Ember Charter School, I want you to talk to us about this notion of agency and empowerment, and especially how it works for children that you specifically focus on, children that deal with trauma. You know, and at a time when we've seen what's going on with COVID and this virtual learning environment for our children, I'd like for us to just talk to us about this enduring trauma and drama that our children are dealing with.
Yeah, for sure. You know, that's a great question. You know, we're faced right now with, you know, what hopefully is a once-in-a-generation challenge.
Yes.
But, you know, for Black and brown people, particularly for, you know, Black folks in this country, we're not new to pandemics, right? So whether it's systematic oppression, racism, right, redlining, exclusion, we have been living under pandemics and all kinds of disasters for centuries.
Yes.
And so a part of what we try to do here is to simply help our people see that.
Yes.
And to see the truth of that, right? Because once you can see it, and this is one of the, you know, when we talk about trauma, in the literature, they talk often about how the number one therapeutic response to trauma is mindfulness.
Mindfulness.
And mindfulness begins with awareness. So many of these different charter schools or whatnot, they name their classrooms after colleges, as if that's the point. For us, that's not the point. The point are the values and principles by which we're going to live. The people who represent the North Stars for us historically, our ancestors, our elders. And so we have Lumumba Sankara, we have Jenyame, right? We have freedom, we have revolution, we have Venceremos. We have all of these words that are the sound power to call and inspire our children, not just to their past, but to their past as a way towards greatness. The truth is, you can make a different choice and decision in the very next moment, the very next moment, and the very next moment. We want to awaken that realization in our students, but in each other. This is just as much for our staff and our families as much as it is for our students. And so that's really what it's about. The transformation starts from within and then will rise and continue exponentially. That's what we're trying to nurture and cultivate here. So we're going into our 10th year, looking ahead. We have our elementary, middle school. We just started our high school.
Right.
And we're working towards actually starting our own graduate school of education.
I love
Teachers right now, they don't know how to teach this way and be this way.
I was going to ask you about it. Talk to us about the teachers when you started and as to where we are now, because you're actually teaching, and I'm going to say this just for the general public, because like you said, we know this isn't new for us. This is a new way for a lot of teachers. They weren't taught this way.
That's right.
They don't know how to teach our children.
That's
They
right.
really don't. I just saw, and I'm sure you saw it on the news, where it's on a virtual Zoom, the teacher tells the Black child that she has every right to be racist towards him. How dare you?
You know, I mean, I think people feel entitled to treat our children in our community any kind of way.
Yes.
Right? And so our purpose is to help empower all the people in our community with the understanding that we are worthy. We were born worthy. We are worthy. We come from a history and a longevity of worthiness. All I have to say is you can find us at www.embercs.org.
Just one more time.
EMBERCS.org. Find our website, and once you get there, I think you will see it. It will just leap off the page at you what we're about.
Beautiful.
We're a nonprofit.
Profit organization.
Just in case anyone thinks otherwise, thinks that we're one of these for-profit. We are nonprofit.
So that means
we are
they can
for
donate.
the people and by the people. They sure can. No, again, we'd rather have your families and your students.
Yes.
Send us people.
Send them
if you don't send us out, that's fine. Send us people.
Yeah.
Send us our people.
Yeah.
That's all we need. Because then we'll be doing the work that we want to do.
And thank you for all you do for our children, for our community, and for the future of the Black race.
Ashe.
Ashe.
WHC's public programs are centered on activism and grounded in Weeksville's history. These diverse programs include arts and culture performances such as theater, dance, poetry, live music, film screenings, public readings, lectures, panel discussions, and exhibitions. These programs bridge the past to the present, utilizing Weeksville's history to entice attendees to learn more.
Hey, I know you're having a good time. Isn't this just great? It's Kwanzaa Fest 2020. And we're going to continue to rise in principle because right now we are going to share with you some of our most famous artists and musicians who actually came out of the church. I know you know folks like Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle, Gladys, James Brown. And that's just to name a few. So you don't want to miss this. You just want to sit back, relax, and get your higher learning on right here at Kwanzaa Fest 2020.
It is no surprise to listeners when they are educated on the upbringing of phenomenal vocalists such as Whitney Houston and Brandy and their deep ties within the Black church. What is sometimes overlooked is the Black church's influence on instrumentalists. Their technique, sound, and overall anointing nature can be clearly traced back to the upbringing in the Black church.
Here are some new and not so new examples of musicians across different genres who got their start in the Black church.
Thad Jones, Elvin Jones, Derek Hodge, Robert Glasper, Louis Armstrong, Usher, Joel Ross, Jasmine Sullivan, Chris Dave, Ambrose Akamusiri, Jill Scott, James Francis, Thaddeus Tribbett, and John Coltrane.
Musical education in church requires young musicians to learn quickly, adapt to different playing situations on a consistent basis, and often learn more than one instrument at a time. When the music in church is at its peak, you will see attendees standing up, catching the Holy Ghost, or feeling the Spirit. This is a direct reaction to the anointing nature of musicians playing in church and the power of God in music.
And we're back. You having a good time? I told you you were going to be having a good time. It's Kwanzaa Fest 2020. Well, man. So listen, right now, we're gonna go in and crash a jam session with Emmanuel Wilkins. You know him, right? Composer, producer, arranger, you name it. Originally from Philly, but now he's in New York. And they're in there right now performing their new album. And we're going in. Come with me.
I'm happy to join the Weeksville Heritage Center and the Asase Cultural Arts Foundation in the celebration of Kwanzaa Fest 2020. This year's celebration is especially important as we draw strength from the 7 Kwanzaa principles that have been so vital to our resilience and survival during the past year. I am pleased to highlight the principle of Kayumba, creativity, the commitment to always do as much as we can, in the way we can, in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. Brooklynites and all New Yorkers have been blessed this year with an unprecedented infusion of creative energy that has risen in response to the twin pandemics of COVID-19 and systemic inequality. People of all ages and races and backgrounds have come together to reaffirm our oneness as a people and our determination to bring healing and justice to all of those who are suffering. I offer a special Kwanzaa thank you to the many first responders and healthcare workers who risked their lives to bring hope and healing to so many this year. And I am also grateful to all of those who have risen in righteous indignation to demand justice for George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Daniel Prude, and so many other Black men and women who have been unjustly taken from us this past year and beyond. And as we harvest the first fruits of the new year, it is my great hope that we will be guided by our commitment to Kayumba and all of the Kwanzaa principles into ensuring that 2021 is a year of health, prosperity, peace, and justice for all. Thank you.
We live on Utica right now as we try to scope to see how much folks on Utica know about Kwanzaa, okay? Hello, pardon me. Would anybody like to answer some questions about Kwanzaa? Kwanzaa, anybody? No? How you doing, my brother? Do you know anything about Kwanzaa? Kwanzaa? Like Black Christmas Kwanzaa? Black Christmas Kwanzaa. How much do you say you know about Kwanzaa?
I don't know that much.
You don't know that much?
No.
I
don't know.
You don't gotta know. I'm just asking questions. And if you don't get them wrong, it don't matter. Nothing happens. Okay? How many principles does Kwanzaa have?
I don't know. I don't know anything about Kwanzaa.
You don't know? Okay, I'm gonna give you a hint. It's less than 10, more than 5. How many principles do you think Kwanzaa got?
10,
Less than 10, more than 5 though.
4.
My brother, do you know anything about Kwanzaa? You sure? I haven't asked you no question. You sure? My brother, would you like to answer questions on Kwanzaa?
What's going on?
What's going on? How many principles does Kwanzaa have?
1.
It's less than 10, more than 5.
Let's go with 6.
7. It's 7. It's 7. Okay, you got it. How many principles do you think Kwanzaa has? It's less than 15, more than 5. Nah, not 10. It's not an even number. It's not an 7. 7. He has how many principles does Kwanzaa have?
7.
Oh, I mean, I guess you're right. Okay. Okay. Can you name the 7 principles of Kwanzaa?
I absolutely can.
Mm-hmm.
Umoja, Kujichakulia,
Right.
Ujima, Ujama,
I'm not even looking at it.
Nia, Kaumba, and Imani.
Okay, all right. She's too good at this. I'm gonna ask you one of the easiest questions, okay? One of the easiest questions is, can you say this word right here?
Kuji.
Mm-hmm.
Kangula.
You almost there? Say it one more time.
Kuji.
Mm-hmm.
Kagulai.
You almost there. We got it. It was Kuji Chakalaga. Say one more time.
Kuji Chakalia.
Kuji Chakalia. Okay.
Yeah.
Kuji Chakalia.
Huja Chi Gulia? Huja Chi Gulia?
Almost there.
Huja Chi Gulia? I don't know.
We almost there. That's right.
Sankvala?
That's right.
All right.
Wait, how to say it one more time?
Quadricula.
That's right. Who can celebrate Kwanzaa?
Anybody.
That's a fact. Who can celebrate Kwanzaa? Everybody. That's a fact. What you think? Everybody? What you think? Huh? Everybody? All my boys get a point. What's the difference between Kwanzaa and Christmas?
The Black Christmas?
Okay, yeah, shoot. That's an answer. Let's see what the answer is. Kwanzaa is cultural and Christmas is a religious-based holiday.
Weeksville Heritage Center's Artist in Residence program explores connections between the historic and contemporary communities while supporting artistic process and community engagement. Weeksville's Artist in Residence program leverages our historic Hunterfly roadhouses as a site of inspiration, creation, and exhibition for work that speaks to the present and helps keep Weeksville's history resonating.
Hey, we're still inside of Kwanzaa Fest 2020. Are you ready for some black girl magic? You notice the hair? Oh yes, we're gonna take you there on a hair journey, a creative hair journey through hairstyles of the African diaspora. You know, we got the Bantu knots, the locks, the whatever you wanna call it, we got it. Come with me on this hair journey. Don't touch my hair, but do look and admire my cornrows, my use of semi-precious stones, my asymmetrical cuts, twists, curls, locks, braids, even shaved. My crown is my crown, is my crown. Don't touch my hair, but you sure can stare and bear witness to the power that is my hair, adorned with cowrie shells, washed in herbs, painted in colors, rooted in indigenous cultural practices of natural beauty. Don't touch my hair unless you care to learn the history and the complexity of my people's history of how we've used creativity to put respect and dignity back in black hair. In the spirit of the Nguzo Saba, as we celebrate Kwanzaa, recognize that my hair is an economic resource that drives community discourse on how we change course to remain resilient, always rising in principle. For this hair is mine. For this hair is mine. Ashe, ashe, ashe. As the world shifts and changes, one thing remains constant, and that is our faith, like the principle of Imani teaches us to. And right now, we're about to celebrate the feminine energy, the divine feminine energy, with the ladies of Oshun.
Chosen and I can't fake it. Great, highly debated. And you want it, so you hate it. Oh, Nani, cause that done made it. Don't blame Nani, cause that you came with. Blame the circumstance that kept your party faded. Or elevated. Tap into your directions, your information. Say affirmations. I be smiling brightest. And my fire hottest. My mind be high. Aiming higher to fight or flight. Lower desires. Here I am to teach you. With a message from the ethers bumping through your speaker.
Keep your solar plexus.
And the block is my cathedral.
Shining brighter than your necklace. Keep your solar plexus. Hey, shining brighter than your.
Let's go.
They say my aura been beaming since
Since a child I've been dreaming of actualizing my gifts and mastering all the breathing. Me and Neon be been scheming on saving, yeah, from demons. They say my heroes was heathens. Since my birth I've been leading. Got that warrior spirit on side, I'll channel and hear it. Hey, I speak my mind cause I am sweet and don't fear it. All the chaos outside, I don't run from a high. I'm the neo-sojourner, I'll free the land with my mind. All my family that's down, from your root to your crown. Let your center shine bright, reflect the light. Your solar plexus, shining brighter than your necklace. Keep your solar plexus, shining brighter than your necklace. Keep your solar plexus, shining brighter than your necklace. Yeah. I say, and he said, hey, yo, bye. Check your checklist, your directions. If you ain't know where you going, then you helpless. God can't help it when you know only you're pressing all your blessings. I'm rocking fake gold and copper wire. Engage my low and my high and my in between. I know that I'm a queen. I keep my universe popping with a weekly steam. I eat my leafy greens to alkalize my energy. I balance my synergy. Get eczema, gets bittersweet. I be shining inwardly. I radiate my power with a squad of sunflowers. That's the game. Protect your sweetness. Your light is not a weakness. It's solar plexus, shining brighter than your necklace. Keep your solar plexus, shining brighter than your necklace. Hey, okay, one time. If you know you blessed, make some noise. We can hear you. We are Ocean. And we need y'all, all of y'all at home, if you know this, sing it along with us, all right? Goes like, oh, hey, I'm on the path. Look, I'm in my God body. Do the math, and I take a bath in the water. I know I am the daughter of the river of the moon, blessed by Oshun, and bittersweet is coming soon. You can cop that on iTunes, a piece Vice at noon. I'm focused. Everything will manifest because I wrote it. I'm hella sweet because I spoke it. Notice I am the sugar, honey, iced tea. You fake? It's fructose, you high C. I'ma be a high priest. You can be a hype beast. Keep fighting yourself if you want to. I'ma keep it humble. He called me his bumble. Stay buzzing up my feed, calling me his queen bee. I'm like, chill, little homie. I'm just trying to preach this the gospel. He like, boo, I got you. I know you a queen. I'm just trying to tune my chakras like. Blessing on, blessing on, blessing on, blessing on, bliss. Blessing on, blessing on, blessing on, blessings. Blessings, blessings. I be in the crib with my feet up. You be moving slow, need to speed. Hurry up. I got holy powers like I'm Jesus. Hey, born out of sweet, yeah. I be the sweet, look. Since an infant, man, I knew I was the great-grandma. Died of Alzheimer's, but she knew the kid. Only 2 years old, standing by her at the bed. First time meeting, but she reached out for my head. On my birthday, I died, but I came back from the dead. Talk your 4-pound baby, hella tubes inside my head. Told him, nah, I'm here to stay. In the world, I'm here to save. Many roads I have to pave, and my gift is that I'm brave. Look. Don't you ever disrespect my God body. Whatever beef you got for you and God, it ain't about me. You a copy and I'm the OG. Stay low key, keep a blessing on me. I be in the bread with my feet up. You be moving slow, need to speed up. I got holy powers like I'm Jesus. Hey, all out of sweet, yeah. I be the sweet. Look, I be in the bread with my feet up. You be moving slow, need to speed. Hurry up, I got holy powers like I'm Jesus. Ay, going out of sweetness, I be the sweet. Ay, Seti money, ay, Seti money. Ooh, ay, ay, Habarakani, ay,
said Imani. Ooh, said Imani. Hey, peace, y'all. We love you. Yeah, Oshun.
Habaragani, sisters and brothers, Imani means faith. The seventh and final principle of the Nguzo Saba, and I believe the foundation on which the Kwanzaa tradition stands. I'm Congresswoman Yvette D. Clarke, and I proudly represent you in New York's 9th Congressional District, that's Central and South Brooklyn. And I'm here to wish you a happy and blessed Kwanzaa 2020. Ever since my childhood, I've observed the Kwanzaa tradition and have incorporated the Nguzo Saba as a way of life. Kwanzaa's 7 principles: unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith are values that bind us together as a people with shared experiences as African Americans. Imani, to believe with all our heart in our people, parents, teachers, leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Imani is our spiritual compass. It has liberated our people from every instance of trial and tribulation, replaced anxiety, fear, and despair with courage, perseverance, hope, and deliverance. It's in our collective DNA. Faith and hope are our guiding lights in the midst of crisis. Imani provides us with the fortitude to withstand the storms of life. Imani gives us the victory. As the year 2020 comes to a close and we reflect back on the collectively lived experience in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, the atmosphere of death, economic destruction, and the racial injustice and inequities that have been laid bare by the presence and persistence of this lethal virus, we pray without ceasing for the health, safety, and well-being and revitalization of our beloved community. Habaragani, Imani. Imani means faith.
This has been Kwanzaa Fest 2020, Rising in Principle. Thank you so much for being here, and good night.